Greetings everyone, welcome back to playing around with panels on a storyboard. Something that I did in the last video, which I didn't fix in video because I didn't have whiteout with me, was here on this third panel. Something that annoys me, and you probably got to see me fix it in the thumbnail, is that for some reason I left out the H in thump. So I'm just going to very quickly fix that because it's going to annoy me if I don't. What magic is that, huh? Generally, I like to, fix this kind of stuff on the fly. Just didn't get the opportunity. That is better inside my head. Still not perfect by any means, but in this world you very rarely actually put the words on the page anyway. They're done after the fact. And for fun, just because I did it in the thumbnail, let's just add some color to it. And then we'll just move on to the last little panel. So we'll introduce just a little bit of color here for dramatic sake. Cool. Anyway, that's really just for me. Now let's go on to the last one. Now, I'm not penciling in anything. This is just living with it as it is, just because it's fun to do it this way once in a while. Get a little bit more ink on this pen because I think dipping is fun. I don't know when I really got into doing that, to be honest with you. It's an interesting thing to do. This is one of those characters that's super fun to draw. But at the same time, I don't really like him very much. And I've had a conversation about this character with different people, even people in the industry, the comic book industry, I should say, who, yeah, I don't know, we all have kind of different takes on this guy. Viewers of the comics, readers of the comics, and even those that make the comics have different views on him. I don't really enjoy the Joker. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say. I don't know if you're really supposed to enjoy him, but I also don't think that he's Batman's greatest nemesis. I've always felt that Ra's al Ghul was the Batman's greatest nemesis. This guy, I just think that the Batman hates him almost like wasting his time, but also like just an agent of chaos. Whereas someone like Ross or Ra's al Ghul seems to be under the impression that he's about the greater good as well. And that can be kind of scary for someone like the Batman, or even for the everyday person, because when someone's kind of a big picture villain like that, they're, yeah, no, I don't know. It's like, you might hear people say stuff about drinking the Kool-Aid. Well, it kind of relates to those kind of personalities. But the Joker's fun to draw anyway. So you can do fun things with his face. Now, setting up the hairline. Although I think the Joker is usually pretty well put together. You know, like somehow his appearance means a lot to him. I think over the years we've seen different versions of him. And yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite. There are some that are pretty iconic. I don't even really have anything bad to say about other versions of the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix, even Jared Leto's version. I'm not upset about other people's interpretation. I mean, Heath Ledger's is award-winning. Yeah, no, the Joker's a different character altogether. Admit, though, just because time and place, I probably like Jack Nicholson's version a lot, because I just remember being a kid in 1989 and seeing that movie, and I mean, he was diabolical. I mean, when you first sort of see him on screen, he's crispifying a mobster. So it's really strange. Tim Burton's always had a fun way of introducing us to characters in his movies. Kind of going with different version of the Joker here. Giving the Jack Nicholson sort of a super tie. I don't know what this sort of tie is called. It's not quite the Colonel Sanders thing going on. Anyway, I think it's also like that in the cartoon as well. The animated series. The small pupil thing is kind of funny to me. Let's see here. We are going to... Ooh, I don't like the way that thumb worked out. My original thought was to put it behind, but so we're gonna have to fix it. And that is all right, because living with it is the way that we're gonna do. Anyway. I think of all the villains as well, when you see them in the comics, the one who probably takes the most vicious beating from the Batman has got to be the Joker. More so than anyone else. I mean, like, when he can get back at Bane, yeah, I mean, he basically fights for his life, but he definitely overpowers the Joker more so than other characters. Because much like, you know, the Batman, the Joker is really, well, human powered, if that makes sense. So, yeah, no, you tend to see the Joker get the most wicked, vile beating from the Batman in the comics. And I think that just shows how much the Batman hates him. So the idea here is that in some way, Joker is kind of being a little more like Wile E. Coyote. And again, just being a nuisance to the Batman. which sadly is oftentimes his MO, although he also has like other agenda-like things that he likes to do. Again, an agent of chaos. That's what you get for not pre-penciling. And again, I'm fine with that. So, that is the gist of this one. And we're going to treat this one a little bit differently. And I'll do sort of like a light wash with it. And then we'll add some quick color to it, just with regular pen. Grab this brush. Just wonder if I should add color to it first. Actually, let's do that. Just to see how that kind of bleeds with the pen. But we're going to start off with giving him some beautiful lipstick. That's very much a signature thing of his. Yeah, that makes sense. I will add some color to his tie. Now this seems funny to me, leaving the other panels in this thing without color until you're introduced to the Joker. That seems funny. Okay, a little bit of color there. Let's give him Nicholson's orange shirt. Yeah, I wonder how this is going to look with adding the color and then doing the wash after the fact. It might look a little ugly, but that is all right. Now we're going to do a little bit of purple. Now, doing this in the computer after you scan in your artwork is probably the way easier, way more fun to do it, and that way you can edit it after if you don't really like the color. But pen and paper is pretty fun to deal with too, especially if you can get the time in to fix it. But if you're doing this with any seriousness, you would go out of your way to make sure that you did your pre-work in as much as possible. As in, you would probably go out of your way to pencil this first, set up dynamic poses, that sort of thing. Now, before I do that fun and ugly little wash on this, I will probably just add a bit more color and texture with the black ink of the regular pen. As dissatisfied as I am with that thumb, that's one of those things that you can go back and fix if you were so inclined. Oh well, we're going for quickness today, so we're 22 minutes and 13 seconds in. So let's very quickly add some hair. Now, in the animated series, his hair is pretty well kept up. Like he wouldn't have had really messy hair. Whereas like Heath Ledger's, he wasn't as concerned. I mean, he'd kind of slick his hair back a little bit. I don't know why, I just wanted him to have a little bit wilder looking hair, but it's not super wild. Okay, now, as I said, go back in. Oh, actually, let's bring out the yellow again here. And we'll add that. Little hint of red on the tongue. Okay. Now, figure a little bit where I'm going to drag some of this around a little bit. Of course, a flower there would have been probably way better, because you know that's more his style, I think. Instead of a handkerchief, but a handkerchief is what's going there. And just because, we'll just put a light amount of ink in there too. Now we'll bring out the brush. We'll see what we can do. Because his complexion is pretty pale, of course. But we can add a little bit of features. Exaggerate a couple of things around his face. So why he goes out of his way to intimidate the bat, I don't really know. I think he also spent a good deal of time in Arkham. And he probably thinks himself to be pretty intelligent. And he is. I don't think he's not intelligent. I don't really understand why he is the way he is, though. So that ink doesn't do, or the gel ink and that the pens, they don't really move around the way I was kind of hoping that they would. That's all right. Yeah, I don't know what I think of that. It's interesting, though. Okay. I know, Neville, I'm almost done. I think that's it. Let's see if I can do a couple more things here. well, I think that will be it for this. It's not meant to go on and on and on. I probably could have thinned out his face a little bit more, I suppose. But beyond that, no, I don't mind this so much. Like so. All right. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out, and hopefully we'll get to see you again sometime soon.